Welcome to Ocrop's YouTube channel, your world for information. I will cover you. The topic for the day is unity of command and managing cross-functional teams. Right. Before we get into the video, thanks to all those who have been watching my videos and have subscribed to my channel. For those who haven't, my request is please check out my videos, and if you like them, subscribe and share. Right, let's get into the topic of unity of command. Managing a cross-functional team. The meaning of unity of command is getting order or passing order by one superior to his subordinate, or getting of orders from one boss by a subordinate. Actually, the superior and subordinate are out of vogue now. It is basically the reporting head and the reportee in the modern day context. When it is one reporting head, when there is only one person to consult, then it makes it easier for the reportee to understand what he or she has to do and what has to be performed systematically with greater efficiency, and the expectations of the reporting head as well. When it is more than one, it leads to some kind of confusion, and there is always a dilemma because there will be a different set of commands from different set of reporting head, and he or she will not understand, or they will not comprehend what to follow if they are different. Plus, to mention about the ego clash and what orders are executed at what priority because of the ego clashes, and there could be a conflict arising out of it. This type of conflict will hamper the growth of the organization. So the unity of command principle ensures there is only one command, making it easier for the individual to understand his or her responsibility, and there is a harmonious and cordial relation among the management and the employee, and it will make the life of employee easier and will help him or her to perform well. So what happens when the principle of unity of command is not followed? Many people start giving advice, or they start consulting many people. Participation is among a group. Then there is a lot of confusion, and it reduces the efficiency of the person in question, as well as the person. It is the innate nature of man to be an escapist, and this kind of multiple commands makes him or her to be easily escaping from the responsibilities and duties, blaming it on other factors. The ego clashes and overlapping and mismatch of instructions, and it is very difficult. It is hard to maintain discipline when there are multiple commands in an organization, especially to a single individual. So there is a need to follow the unity of command principle in any organization. Working in cross-functional teams always poses some kind of challenges to work. It is not going to be as straightforward as an individual comes and delivers his or her duties and responsibilities. So cross-functional teams collaboration is tricky, to say the least, while in the same time it presents a lot of advantages. It can innovate, help in innovation, it can improve the performance of the individual as well as the group, and it can enhance the value to the organization in terms of delivery. Managing a cross functional team is certainly a challenge. It is a challenge because the employee generally tends to focus on their responsibility and those responsibilities which are measured and for which they get some kind of rewards for which they are rewarded. So, if the cross-functional teamwork is not part of the performance appraisal element or the employee's performance, there is always a lesser priority given to these things. So, it becomes imperative for the leaders to encourage this collaboration and identify this kind of motivation in the employees to perform in a cross-functional team. The impact of cross-functional team on the productivity, especially in the days when too many people are marked on email, what happens either there is too little communication or too much of communication. Everybody starts responding, marking to everybody, reply to all, and there are messages which come to all the people for which some it doesn't matter at all, some it is insignificant, for some it is doesn't add value, but all these hampers the productivity. Interpersonal relationship and communication is also a factor because people always ask a new member or a new person to collaborate if it is a cross-functional team, and it's going to be little out of the comfort zone. So how much ever they're comfortable with the new person also matters in terms of their performance and the performance of the team. So the leaders have to bring in harmony in the team. When they manage a cross-functional team, they need to ensure that the interpersonal relationship and communication within the group are clear and precise. Especially in the pandemic condition like this, when people are working from home, some are in the office and some others are in home, then the communication really gets little bit complicated, especially with a cross-functional team. And the person who's managing this have to understand the blocks and they'll have to remove these blocks through their leadership. Depending on the type of people and the size of group, there may be some kind of elements on the trust as well as collaboration with someone new. These impediments have to be removed by the leader. Leader has to ensure that the team is in harmony and they all understand the goals, especially and the roles, and the leader should provide a conducive environment to express themselves either in single or as part of the team. So the communication channels have to be made clear. There has to be a precise channel, and there must be some kind of sensitivity, especially when the unity of command principle could be breached. Leaders who manage the cross-functional team need to understand that the employees who are part of the cross-functional team have their own reporting heads, and when this is the case, the level of confidence that the cross-functional team manager brings in to the table and the level of comfort he creates with the people and give them the space to perform, same time not ask too many questions but allow them and motivate them to perform, is definitely a challenge. Been days in my career when I had to take directions from more than one person, and most of my time has been spent in balancing the ego of the people who are there in the question rather than discharging my own responsibilities and duties. And it has been the unity of command principle is well understood from the fact that one clear direction from one person to one person makes it easier. I've also been part of a cross-functional team. I've managed a cross-functional team of different people, different departments, and it has been a challenge because any questions that you ask in terms of performance will not be liked by any of the cross-functional team member, as they think that they are only uh, due to respond to such questions to their reporting head. Managing a cross-functional team requires a lot of sensitivity and a lot of conflict resolution. You must be good in resolving all the blockades that arise during the management of the cross-functional team, especially given that some difficult people are there in the group. I hope you had a good time listening to the blog on unity of command and managing a cross-functional team. Hope to see you with some similar content in the future. If you have any kind of opinion on the unity of command or managing a cross-functional team, please record it in the comment section. I'll be more than happy to read them and respond to them. So thank you for listening. Bye bye.